Approaching from the sky. Radio contact.
Guys, what's up? Lou here, JVH. I got a kind of interesting question that I was asked the other day by one of the Primal crew members. Basically, I'm calling this Deload for Meatheads. We have some there's a lot of meathead type shit really, but like kind of smart meathead type shit at the same time. I'm not retarded. So the question posed was, does he use dynamic effort for compound lifts on the deload week? Meaning, would he move a weight really fast, dynamic effort, produce power, on the big lifts, even on a deload week? And at first I thought, that's easy. No. But then doing my own self-checks and be like, kind of a little bit checking in my memory banks a little bit, going to my library, figuring out that it depends on the specifics behind the percentages of lifts, and if you continue to do, if you're continuing to do dynamic effort and repetition work. RE work is repetition work, and that's where you want to, in the conjugate, this is all West Side, you're in European block training, you want to use different modalities of strength and combine them within the same period, in other words, conjugate, to elicit the best responses and produce the best results. That way you're not minimizing, or you're not solely just working on max effort and not taking care of your power production or dynamic effort. Everything's being worked within the same block period or microcycle. One of the first things I want to talk about is why we deload. Well, the reasons for deload is because you want to give your body and mind a rest. If you're into powerlifting at all, this is reasons why you're going to peak for a meet. Like 2, maybe 3 weeks away from a meet, you're going to be taking it easy. You're not going to be making any more gains towards that. You want to come into the meet nice and fresh, be able to hit your perfect numbers. Prevent overtraining, increase his chances to progress. If you constantly pound, realism is that you're gonna go stale after a while. Prevent injuries, and increase motivation and non-stale. A lot of times if you pound yourself in and out of the gym, training is stressful and demanding on not only physically the body of our actual tissue, but also of the mind. So you lose motivation, and you kind of go stale, like you don't feel like you find any reason to skip this workout. For these reasons, and these reasons alone, think of the deload, think of the overall picture, think of the deload as a recovery and restoration type phase, period. And that's the key component. You're supposed to deload. So with that being said, I'm gonna go into popular methods of how people deload. There's like 4 big schemes. I think I've never done all of them, but I've used 1 or 2 of these. Basically, no max effort work during the week, only dynamic effort and repetition effort or hypertrophy work. The reasons for this max effort work is stressful, so people think that they must do the same with the dynamic effort work or the rep work, and not truly a deload. Remember, the CNS has to recover. So what happens is people go into the gym with that mindset of, I'm gonna fucking move this weight and move this weight heavy, blah, 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 and they're saying, fuck, I can't move this weight, but I still have to kill myself. The intensity still has to be high. And they try to overcompensate with their dynamic work and the repetition work with increasing the volume of that also. They feel like they're cheating, they're not working out the same. And that's not, the best option for a true deload. You're supposed to kind of chill and relax. The next method is basically, they only do max effort work and dynamic effort work only, and limit the repetition work or hypertrophy work. I kind of like this in a sense, because it's like, if you feel good, just fucking keep riding it out. You know what I mean? Like, some days you feel like you can lift the house, some days you feel like, a little bitch ass, basically. So there's other times where the negatives of this the problem being, if you're not doing repetition effort work, is the loss of muscle mass, being deconditioned, and eventually you're stall out, which is a huge negative because, you're not doing any repetition effort work, so it's loss of muscle mass, and then deconditioning, which is never good. C, which is basically do max effort work done to 80%, dynamic work to the same, and limit repetition training. That's not too bad, but understand that 80% isn't really that light. So cuts out most of the RE work, concentrates on dynamic, but 80% is still not that light. So really, you're not doing any really kind of deload. You just lower the percentage, and you're just kind of like slowing down, but slow down isn't really a deload. And last one is no max effort work, just repetition and dynamic work. And this is kind of what the person was asking about. And this is really good. It really gives the mind and body a rest and gives the joints a complete rest. As long as you don't overdo the dynamic effort work or repetition effort work. Just understand the point of deload is to really deload. Don't increase the volume of what more than we're supposed to. Don't start adding extra sets. Don't really start adding extra reps. Just do what you got to do and get the hell out of the gym. The conclusions basically are that you got to remember the point of a deload, look at the bigger picture. The point is to basically, like I said before, deload. Don't think that you're going to all of a sudden try to increase the weights or think that you're being a pussy. Just look at the bigger grand scheme of things. Why must you have a deload in order to continue to make gains? One of the biggest things is you cannot continue to make gains if you continue to beat yourself into a bloody pulp. That's the way physiology works and the way our body works. You're not going to be able to continuously get any stronger, faster, jump higher, do anything if you continue to pound yourself out. Remember that the point of the adaptation process is that the recovery process, when we're actually not doing anything, is when we're actually recovering. And the last thing, if you're going to deload, then fucking deload. Chill out, you know what I mean? Take a couple days, take a week, take however long you feel, come back to the gym nice and fresh, hit your numbers that you're supposed to hit, and then come back at it with a new mental set. A lot of times, like I know for myself, if I chill out and don't, if I really deload, then next time I get to the gym, I really want to crank stuff out. So when I get into my next phase, it works really well for the mind. And that's basically it. So like I said, one of the primal crew members asked if dynamic effort work is supposed to be done on compound lifts on the deload week. And I say yes, as long as you adhere to the bigger picture of not overdoing it. Don't kill it. And you should be perfectly fine. Just know that don't pick up the volume on other stuff. And as long as you give your mind and body a rest and give your joints a rest from all the hard pounding, then you should be good to go. But that's the biggest thing. If there's any more questions, feel free to ask them. I'll answer them the best I can. But this is Deload for Meatheads.